All right. Taeyeon, you ready? Jace, thank you for being here. We're good. All right, it is 11:46, and I will call this meeting to order. Sorry, can you turn this down a little bit? I already hear it kind of peeking out on me. Sorry about that. Is that okay? Let me turn this mic down just a little bit. These are the members. I don't want to yell at them. They're the good people. All right. I'm going to start with my devotion and pastoral report. I want to thank you all for being here. Let me just take a look at you. Yep, just what I thought. Yeah, it's funny. Just membership meeting, annual biz meeting after annual biz meeting. You're just preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the converted. Thank you all for being here. I want to talk about a few things. That's why this Sunday sermon was geared a little bit where it's at, because I always feel like the people that I want to, come on, raise the bar, they're never at these. You guys are the people that are making it happen. You know what? Honestly, genuinely, round of applause for yourselves for being here. I'm just looking at, I love you all so much. Look at you guys. Really, really thankful for you. What I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit of the heart behind 2024 as you see it in the lobby. 2024 is the year of healing. And I actually wanted to share something, and I do think it'll particularly work well with the people in the room, what makes me really happy, because I feel like you guys have seen this, you've experienced this, and so I want to share what was a devotional at a board meeting back in October. And so what I shared with the board was what I called the church leadership continuum. And it's something that at the time we all kind of laughed about, like, yeah, isn't that the truth? And then the last 5 to 6 months, it has very much been the truth, and it's really going to be the truth moving forward. And so it's something that I wrote down a few years ago, just about like what it feels to be a part of a church, what it feels like to be a leader in a ministry, to be a pastor. So there's basically 3 steps to this. And I hope as I go through it, it both makes you go, oh, that's true, as well as maybe we can all laugh about it a little bit. And so this is what I feel like. When I first started in 2016, we hit this season. And then I'll tell you as well, I also believe in 2020, we hit this season. And so it's the season in church leadership that I just call the failing and flailing season. This is the season that I wrote down, you make really big mistakes, and you only learn things the hard way. Every day feels like a constant fight to keep your head above water. This is true, I think, in marriage. This is true in parenting. And I think definitely there are seasons in the church where you just feel like you're failing and flailing, that at the end of the day, you feel like, I'm exhausted, but I couldn't tell you what I did. Anybody ever experienced that, either in ministry or just in life or just in business or just right? We've all been through that failing and flailing season. And in moments like this, have you guys ever seen the movie Fury? It's a very violent movie. It was made by a Christian, but I wouldn't call it a Christian movie. But it's a movie about war, about tank warfare. And it's an ongoing theme in the movie Fury. Brad Pitt's character, who's kind of the lead in the movie, after like a bloody battle, they're all just covered in like soot and they're just destroyed. They all just say, best job I ever had. And they all in the tank, they go, yeah, best job I ever had. And I feel like in those moments where it's just like, this is a really chaotic, I really do feel like I'm using all that I got just to keep my head above water. I always smile and say that just from Brad Pitt's characters. It's a bit of a joke with my 2 brothers-in-law, Robert and Isaiah, who married into the Cedarblom family with me. Best decision I ever made. We always just say that when ministry is just really hard, we'll kind of talk and just say, best job I ever had, best job I ever had. So yeah, that's number 1, the failing and flailing season. And then number 2 is this, hopefully, God help us, that you kind of get to the finding and focusing season. Is this beginning to sound familiar, board? Remember this? So what I wrote is this, that after, in church leadership, hopefully you get to the finding and focusing season. You at least know what not to do, right? You've learned some things. You've had a spiritual sense of where you need to be. And you begin to cast vision to clarify the future. And this is really important. I want you guys to know this. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I feel like when you begin to find and focus what you're about as a church, it will invigorate some and it will infuriate others because they don't like that. They have a different vision. They have a different direction. They have a different place where you need to go. And when you begin to talk about what you want to be about, it's really interesting how much it unfortunately feels like kind of a demarcating divider for some people. Some people are like, I'm all in, and some people say, I'm all out. And so that's a bit of kind of that second season. It's the finding and focusing season. You guys ever felt like you've done that either in a ministry or in a business, or is that resonating with you? I hope so. You're finding and focusing. And then the third thing is this, God help us. We can get to kind of level 3, if you will, in the continuum, which is the functioning, if not flourishing season in the church. This is where you're like, I think we're doing stuff. I think God's moving. There's new people showing up. This is amazing. So what I wrote is this, that you are now living the vision. The church, for better and for worse, is a direct reflection of your leadership and your spiritual guidance. And I very much feel like I've experienced that where, for the first couple of years I could say like, well, we're going, these are problems that I inherited. Don't put that in the notes, Tayon. That's not what I meant. But, but then after a while you can go, no, all the problems here are because of me. These are the decisions that I made, these are the ministries that we started. And you're just like, okay, so there's some good parts of that we're functioning now. We're actually walking in the vision. We're walking in the methodologies, the missiology, but also for worse, right? I see that a lot in our people sometimes. I'm like, man, why are we struggling in this area? And God feels like he tells me, it's because you're struggling in this area. I'll go, okay, praise God, help me, please. So, and then here's the hidden secret fourth one, the part of the continuum. The fourth one is you repeat forever. And what I wrote is this, and I didn't know I was being prophetic at the time, but what I talked to about the board in October was whether it's a new opportunity, whether it's a shift in staffing, a pandemic, or all three, it's time to fail and flail again. It was naive to think that ministry would ever stay the same, and that the people and their needs would never change. And that we could just, or rather I could just, lay back and put leadership on cruise control. It's time to fail and flail again, but even still, best job I ever had. And what is kind of funny, and I've actually read books about this, they say that, every 3 or 4 years, if we're doing our jobs right, the church becomes a church plant again, which will go through failing and flailing, finding and focusing, finding and focusing, functioning and flourishing, and then we start again at the top. And to talk a little bit, I feel like I talk about this every annual business meeting, but that definitely has been the case just in my time here. Maybe it's me. Maybe we need to find someone else and we'll have less failing and flailing. But 2016, first came on staff as the lead pastor, promoted. Awesome. Failing and flailing season, 100%. 100%. And then I feel like, by 2019, I was like, we're doing this. This is going great. And then you guys know, 2020. Big, different failing and flailing season, finding and focusing season, functioning and flourishing season. And then I would say, board, last 5 months, it's been whoa. With a lot of internal stuff we won't talk about, with, of course, the Petersons and us going like, it's been 19 years since we've had someone different in this position. I would say, the last 5 months, not in a way that's like, aw, but in a way that's like, you probably have sensed it, I'm saying this. Last 5 months have been probably the most difficult 5 months in my time as lead pastor. Just really unprecedented things, more than COVID. Just things that we did not see coming. And so very much the last 5 months have been, again, time to start over. It's time to reset. And so I hope this is oddly healing in a way, because I feel like this is just the continuum of what it means to be a part of a church. I've read it in books, but now I've experienced it myself, that there's never going to be a season where we are perfectly functioning and flourishing forever. Because if we stay right with what works right now, we will miss who's coming in, and we'll miss what the next generation needs. Does that make sense? And so what I'm actually kind of asking for is for you guys to see this, for you guys to realize this, and for you guys to be ready to hop in the tank with me again, with Brad Pitt, and say, you know what? Best church, you know what I mean? Best job I ever had. Because I would say very much that we are in that step 1, hopefully approaching step 2 in the church in a lot of different ways. And you'll hear a lot about that, of course, during this meeting. But I want to ask you to do 3 things for me. The first thing is this. I'm asking you to pray and to believe the best about Legacy Church. to pray and believe the best about our future, about the people coming here, about the ministries that we have a lot of great things coming up in our future, but I'm asking you to pray and to believe the best about us. The second thing is this: I'm asking you to be patient and to be adaptable. He'll be here in just a little bit. He's only 3 months in, but Alex has, I told you this, but now I'll say it for the record, has far exceeded all of my expectations for him as our youth director. He is doing a phenomenal, phenomenal job, and he deserves a round of applause right now and then in a few minutes. But with that, you're taking the youth group in new directions, and I'm thankful for that. And I know there's no one in this room that's going to be but a bad church would say, you need to do youth ministry the way Garrett did youth ministry, because that's the way Garrett did youth ministry. And I've never told that to you, hopefully ever, and I hope you never feel that. That there's going to be new directions that are new for us, and we need that. We need fresh vision. We need fresh perspective. And I say all that because you're the best example, because you've been killing it, man. I'm just so thankful for you. But to state the obvious, we have a brand new person in children's ministry starting next month. That's going to be big. That's going to be huge. And I don't expect it from you, but I'm asking you to pray and to intercede. Because I know people are going to say, you're going to do it the exact same way it's been done for 19 years. And I want you to know, I don't want that. I'm asking for fresh vision, for fresh perspective, for fresh heart. And I know that's coming. But in that, I'm hoping that, one, we will all be patient with Dylan, as you've been patient with Alex. But again, he's just patient with someone just immediately starting at 100 miles an hour, doing an amazing job. And also adaptable. I'm sure there will be fresh ideas, fresh things. And it might just be, can we try this? I'm preaching to the converted, I'm preaching to the choir, but can you pray that that spirit would echo through our parents, through our families, through our legacy kid volunteers, that we'll be patient with our new family life director, Dylan, and we would also be ready to be adaptable. I read once that when it comes to church, you want to marry the mission and date the method. Does that make sense? Did I put that on the slide? Oh, I did put that on the slide. I didn't remember that. The why, the gold from today, right? That's ours. That's covenantal, right? Well, I'm married to that. But when it comes to how, you can just kind of date it. Like, I'm serious, I'm not too serious. I'm willing to see other people if it means that, sorry, don't put that in the notes, Tayon. I shouldn't have said that. If it means that we can accomplish more things for his glory. Does that make sense? Sorry. Wow. So, and then lastly, of course, continually invite someone in to what God is doing here. I really believe in this church. I want to say that as often. I need to say that much more often. I really, really believe in this church. This year is going to be new for us. It's going to be a different year for us, but I really do believe that God is in this, and God is here for us, and I think our future is bright. And so if I can just ask continually, because I just see it time and time again. I said it in my sermon that, I could talk about us being a welcoming church forever, but we will not be a welcoming church unless you, as the members here, are welcoming people. I can talk about the importance of personal, relational evangelism, about asking people to join in the ministries that you are a part of. I can say that forever, and I've just seen it. I can do a 15-week series on the importance of serving in the church and being evangelistic in your relationships. And you can do more than I can do in 15 weeks by just simply inviting someone. Tell them about the food pantry. Tell them about Royal Rangers. Tell them about, like, hey, why don't you come sit with me on Easter Sunday? Because you are the hands and feet of Jesus in this church. And I really, really am thankful for all of you. Almost done. I just have 3 quick things because, of course, I wanted us to be able to look back at 2023. And it's fun when you look back at pictures, it makes it feel like the things that we did last year happened 10 years ago. It's just kind of been that season in the church the last few months. But I want us to just smile and celebrate and maybe even remember of like, oh yeah, that was last year. So I have 3 things that kind of makes me smile about 2023 here at Legacy. And the first one is this: we had too much fun. Here's just a few of the events that we had, and if you can kind of look at them, I'll kind of bullet point them then. First, we have our Legacy Youth Food Fight event right there with Tayon's there and Alex is there, which is really fun, and that involved actually multiple youth groups from kind of San Luis Obispo County, which was really great. We have over here only one picture, but our all-church baseball game. You guys remember that? It feels like that was years ago. That was last year. That was such a fun event. And then, of course, over here, our all-church water fight, which was fantastic. fantastic. I don't know if you see this, but this is the happiest treasurer I've ever seen in my life. That's Diane Curley at our food pantry Christmas party, getting a meme game, which was really fun. And then, of course, what am I missing? The Chili and Chill event. Remember the chili contest we had? Really fun. And then here at the bottom, my personal favorite picture, Chris and Fable, and then my daughter, Selah. That's at the Peterson Celebration Crazy Hair Day. And so when I look back at 2023, I feel like there were a lot of just connection moments where we were reminded of how good it is to be with each other. Just how fun it is to be the family of God here at Legacy. And I'm excited for Easter. I'm excited for our future ahead. But I just wanted to take a moment of like, we had some fun times together. You know, and I think sometimes in the gravel, if I can go back to my sermon analogy, you lose the gold that's just like, we had fun. Like, what was the purpose of this? Connection? What was the purpose of this? Memories with the family, right? And so we just had really, really, really awesome times last year, just spending time together. The second one is this. We took next steps. Again, not exhaustive. This is just from my camera roll. But you'll see up, I cropped you out, Tiffany. I'm so sorry. Where's Tiffany at? Okay. So she's over here, but at the very top left, this was the Bible study that we led on Friday mornings, that Tiffany led rather, and you were like very pregnant. And I'm just, okay. She did this, I did not do that, which was funny because it's kind of like, what's your excuse, church? Like, I'm pregnant and I'm leading a Bible study, but I was very thankful for the attendance and that opportunity to be a part of that Rooted Bible study. It was such a great time on Friday mornings. We have Christina Hutchison over here preaching. This can maybe make the minutes. I do think that was my favorite. Sorry, everyone, because I know a lot of people preach. Favorite sermon of 2023 was the sermon that you shared. It felt like a Vision Sunday. I told you that already. Yeah, round of applause, sure. It was a really awesome day. We have Mackenzie, who joined as a youth leader. We have Cody, who preached at our men's breakfast. We have Abe and Chris, who are, new members of the worship team as of last year, so that's worth it. Our worship team's growing, thank you. And then, I don't know if you guys... Oh, no, only a few of us were there. But this bottom picture right here was Kirkley, Janie, and I, and then a bunch of Legacy Kid leaders. We got to be a part of a Assemblies of God training day at Visalia First Assembly, which was an incredible day just to grow as leaders. And it reminded me of just the beauty of the next generation leaders that we have here at Legacy Church. That was a really good day. Did I hit everything? Tiffany, Cody, Mackenzie, Christina, Abe, and Chris. Yeah. And then the last thing is this, and of course, two of these we'll hear more about in just a little bit, but we made a big impact. You're going to hear about the food pantry in just a little bit. You heard a bit during my sermon, but just the continual food pantry growth. And we are, I guess, intentionally expanding it, working on getting it relocated here. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But the food pantry is just continually a huge, huge ministry. It's so much bigger than, I always think it's big, and then I show up on a Thursday, I'm like, gosh, it just feels like more and more cars week after week after week. Of course, our Fostering Together ministry, which we'll hear about in just a little bit, but I was so proud of us uniquely for the Christmas tree, the ways that we donated right at the end of the year, which was really powerful. And then, of course, our Trunk or Treat event, 2,000 plus people. And I love this, always will be such an amazing thing that we get to make an impact with multiple churches in our area for that event. It's always been an incredible thing. Very, very excited for the future there. Our plan is to do that again in October. I don't know if Dylan knows that yet. No, we were already locked in. Actually, we talked about that in the interview, about the importance of that. And so we made a really big impact, and you'll hear more about that in just a little bit. So that was it. I wanted to say that, hey, we had a lot of fun. We took a lot of next steps, and we made a big impact in 2023, and really excited about that. All right, that ends my pastoral report and devotional. So I will, next we're going to talk about our food pantry. So can you please welcome Kyle Fable to the stage? He's just going to give a brief update on the food pantry.
Nice jacket, by the way. Oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, I love all the people that work at the pantry. Yeah, you know, it's a great place to minister. And I just will always encourage people to come down. If you want to just come down one time, see what's up. We are feeding, I would say, 25 or 30 more families a week over what we were last year. And the amazing thing is we still have enough food. We're still picking up at the same places, but we have enough food. It's really amazing. So that's been great. So The other thing, just to make it quick, is that we are, as Garrett said, moving or in the process. We're going to move to the trailer back in the back, and I think that's going to make the process more streamlined. I think we'll be able to feed more people faster, and that's good because more and more people keep coming. So we have to figure out a way to be better. So I would say that's primarily where we're at with the food pantry. Good save.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much, Kyle. Really excited about that. Next, I'll welcome Tiffany. Come on up and talk about fostering. You knew you were coming. Round of applause for Tiffany Riojas.
So me and Kristen Cruz run Fostering Together. If you don't know, it's a closet we have set up here at the church to provide care packages to resource families who have children living with them in foster care. We work directly with social services, and then we've also been working with the Family Care Network. And then we've had foster families reach out to us directly because now they know that we're operating. So this last year, we were able to give 26 care packages out to kids in the community, which was really great. It's really nice when we're able to meet specific needs. We've been able to give high chairs to babies. We've been able to give bikes to youth that need to get to work. So there's kids that are living in independent living, and they need transportation. So we've been able to give them bikes, and just provide clothing and any needs that children have that are in foster care. We have about 400 kids in foster care in our county. So any need that we're able to meet, we're trying to support because it's an under-supported community in our area. So we appreciate the church's help in getting us there and helping kids feel loved. So thank you.
Thank you. I will say if you have any specific questions regarding Fostering Together or Kyle Fable, we're going to do that after the meeting, okay? You guys can just talk to them directly. You already gave them a huge round of applause, so can you do it one more time? Please welcome Alex Ramos, our youth director. He's going to talk a little bit about the last few months at Legacy Youth.
Yeah, if we could go to the next slide, and we'll just loop this while we're going through just some of the fun we're getting on in room 200. You know, obviously, this is kind of a review of 2023, but I started in 2024 in January, so we'll kind of go through the last 3 months of what we've been up to. So I have a few notes, and I'll try to be as quick as possible. In January, we started things off by Leap of Faith, New Year's event. There was frog themed. It was just a lot of fun. In February, we did a Love Yourself, really dress up and come out, and we're going to walk the red carpet, and we're going to do, if you were here for the one service, we got to share some pictures. That was awesome. And then March, actually just 2 days ago, outside, we did a bonfire with the youth, and it was just a fun time that we had with the youth here. So those are a few of the events we had going on. We have a lot more planned for the rest of this year. We try to hit about one special event or, go out together for pizza for fellowship, something extra a month to do with the students. A couple notes that I thought were really cool. So far this year, we've had 2 new students brought by other students to visit with us, and one of them has been coming pretty regularly with their friend. And then we've also had, this is really a testimony for this church and how deep its roots are. We had someone reach out that used to go here years and years ago, that their grandson, they really wanted to get into a youth group, and they couldn't help but think of us. So she reached out, we talked about it, we got to know the student, and they've been coming with us and spending every chance they have to be part of the youth group, which is awesome. This year we've got to share some messages, which has been cool. One of the first messages I did was PB&J. How is God, PB&J? And we tied it into the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity of God. We got to talk about the heart of God and how God is love. We've got to talk about, during the last 3 weeks, Easter and the road to redemption that Jesus took. He started as this healer, this magic man, this person, we called it the magician, who would go around and do these things that weren't seen in this time, that were just so mystical and inspiring to people and would draw crowds from all over the place. And then the second week we talked about Jesus the reformer. Now you got these Sadducees and the Pharisees coming and saying, this is not of God, you are not of God, and coming against them. But Jesus continued to reform what people thought was the law of God in those days and teach it in a different way that we know it today as Christianity. And then the last one, Jesus the Redeemer, coming full circle to the redemption of the cross and what he did for us on the cross. So it's been really cool to share these things with the students. And then a couple days ago at the bonfire, sharing about Peter and his denial of Jesus 3 times. Again, we were talking about the road to redemption, and it was just fitting that we talk about, the moment when Jesus was arrested, and Peter himself, the best friend of Jesus, being able to come and denying that he knew Jesus 3 times. And we talked about how in our lives we're going to have pressures, we're going to have temptations, we're going to have our friends come up to us and say, you put your Christianity on the back burner and come with us and do this. But we have to recognize that when we do that, it's us denying the name of Jesus. And in our lives, we're going to constantly be pressured. And when we go against those pressures, we are confessing the name of Jesus as he asks us to do. Outside of that, like I said, we're going to continue to do these fun things and continue to minister to these kids and disciple them. We're really excited about getting them connected to ministries in the church and starting to get them ready for serving in the church. Beyond, they do a fantastic job with the kids ministry and serving in the kids, but we want them to also have the opportunity to serve in other ways that their hearts feel connected. So that's what we have going on, and that's all I have for you guys.
Good job, man. Thanks for making that video. That's so cool. All right. Next up, we have treasurer report. Where'd she go? I get it. That's fine. I'm just kidding. Huge round of applause for Diane Curley, our treasurer. We'll go over the financials.
Thank you. Hello, church family. I'm here for the profit and loss and the balance sheet today, and you all have a copy in front of you, so I'm really just going to hit the highlights here. For 2023, we had a total income of $447,1557. Our total expenses were $465,639.59, which left us with a negative net income of $18,624.02. On the balance sheet, as of December 2023, our total current assets are $321,937.97. Our total assets, $1,793,376.66, which again leaves us with a negative income of $18,624.02. Couple things I just want to highlight here on the balance sheet. So last year we did have a comment from one of our members. Good wisdom came to light. We have moved some things around. We have put some money into CDs and money markets that are earning some interest for us. So I feel that is a really positive move. We've been able to use that money for projects around here, and it has just been very helpful. So thank you. Are there any questions for me? No? So last year we had what we call Project Legacy on the table. We were using funds for ministry improvement, for things that we needed to take care of at the church. Some of the things that we did get done, we had a bunch of roof repairs done, fascia repairs. We helped build a fence between properties. So we were able to use some of that additional income to help improve our facilities here and to increase our ministries. So we were very grateful to be able to do those things with the money for Project Legacy. And as of this past year, it has now been closed out. Our focus is really going to be moving toward getting the pantry together, getting that in a state where we can transition from the Del Rio property over to our own campus here. Is there anything else? No?
Make a motion to accept.
Second by?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. Sorry, we do have a motion. I just want to make sure. So that was a motion to accept the financials as presented by Chad Langford, second by Rick Curley. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Excellent. Thank you so much, Diane. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have our board member vote. You all know who she is, but I'm going to have Juana come back up one more time just to say hey. To like reintroduce? I don't know. You want to preach fire and brimstone on them? Now's your the clap. Yeah, let me add it. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. We all know each other. I don't know which one. Hey, okay.
This is who we're voting
Yeah.
for. No, that's perfect. So
Okay.
thank you. Everyone knows you're here. Thank you so much. All right. If you haven't written your ballot, please do so. I have not. So let me do that. And then I believe Chad and Dina are going to be walking around to collect these. Can we play a little bit of music? Is that okay? Da, 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 da. Wait, that's not Jeopardy. That's I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah. Perfect. I want to make sure everyone's ballots has been collected. Last call. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, well, while they are counting all of those yes votes, I want to call up Jan Bewley, kind of for our new business or outstanding business. She's going to give an update on our Del Rio property sale. Give it up for Jan.
Thank you. Good morning. I did do a written report, so you should have that. The good news is the buyer is still moving forward. They requested additional time. I think it was in January. They asked us for more time. And so through many negotiations, thank you, Chad and the board, we came up with a plan where we would extend it an additional 6 months as it is down there for $60,000. So the church will receive $60,000 first week of April, so just next month. And that'll extend it for another 6 months. And then also the contract allowed them another 6-month extension for another $60,000 in October of this year. And they did request a year, and so this is what we came up with to accommodate that. In addition to that, if they want a little more time after a year from now, then it's going to cost them $60,000 for 3 months. And we have that in for 2 times only, and then no more extensions. They have to close escrow after that. So the good news now, this includes everything we've received to date. To date, the church has received $144,000 in addition to the, well, we don't have the purchase price yet, the sale, but we've received those funds for the delay of the close of escrow. And that's to date, so we had $70,000 in 2023, plus $11,000 for the taxes, and then so far this year, we've received $35,500 for the January, February, March extensions. And that's all in addition to the purchase price. So it doesn't, you can see our purchase price down here is $4,125,000. And we're expecting sometime next year for it to close, whether they close in April or if they close in October. That's our expectation. Any questions? Yes.
I'll bring the mic to you, Chuck. Chuck, let me give you the mic. There you go.
Yeah, I've got a couple questions. First one is, what's the cause for the delay? And the second one is, how much time after closing do we have before we have to vacate the property?
I'll bring it to you. I'll be the runner.
Okay. The cause of the delay is development. The property is still currently zoned residential, and we did get approval last year, after all this time, to get it rezoned to commercial, mixed use, and have a general plan amendment also. So it's really a long process. They found out in, I guess, October of last year, after getting all these approvals, that the off-site improvements, which would be sewer, roads, stoplights, all those things that the city's going to require, they went from $5 million in cost to $14 million in costs. So I'm just glad that they didn't bail on us and they're continuing forward, because that's a huge increase in costs. And construction costs, I don't know if you do any projects around the house, but building materials have gone way up, way up. And so the project, I think they were talking about somewhere around $50 million for total build out, and now they're like 80 million plus. And so they don't have permits yet. They expect to have permits in January of next year. And so that's why they wanted to extend their improvements there. And what was the second question? Oh, the contract reads that 90 days from close of escrow. So if we close in April of 2025, we have 90 days from that. If we close in October of 2025, we have 90 days from that. And I think there were more questions. I saw some more hands somewhere, unless we answered them. Okay.
Awesome. Can we give Jan another round of applause again? Okay. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of the Legacy Church Board, Juana Moore. Yes, awesome. They voted you in. So very, 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 very happy about that. We'll see you in April. So yeah, that concludes all of our business for today, but I am not allowed to end it. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting from you. Motion by Dina. Let's go eat some lunch, yeah? Second by Chad Langford. There you go. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? No, let's hang out more. All right, motion carried. I love you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for coming.